my God. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. I cannot believe that we're at the end, guys. We're at the end of Season 8, and this is my finale predictions for the final episode of Season 8. This one is titled Wrath, coming up this Sunday, and these are just my predictions. These are from my finale predictions. Kind of a preview, a sneak peek at what's going to be coming up on my channel after that, because once The Walking Dead is done, obviously reaction videos are done for quite a long time, and I'm going to have to fill the dead space with something else. Probably prediction videos and maybe some different type of content you guys aren't as used to, but I'm going to try to, diversify it so that it's interesting for you guys. Episode 15 was really good. I remember in my review I was talking about it, just the downfall of Simon. I like, because it's funny because a YouTuber who I follow, who gave me a shout out most recently, Trev Chan too. He actually spoke about how it was kind of like a Game of Thrones kind of dynamic, the way Simon, Dwight, and Negan were toying with each other, trying to get each other on their side. Some people knew information, others didn't. It was all about who had the knowledge and who didn't, and who was aware of it and who wasn't. And obviously Simon didn't know Dwight was a traitor, but his mind was in the realm of wanting to take charge from Negan. He thought Dwight was on his side. He wasn't. And then Negan used Dwight for the sole purposes of getting rid of Simon, and then he knew all along that Dwight was this big fat traitor, and that was because Laura was the woman who ended up showing up towards the end there. So really interesting dynamic. I mean, I think the sanctuary scenes kind of took charge of that episode. Because again, I said this in my previous videos, the Oceanside stuff, again, I still don't know what they plan to do with that. And it seems almost predictable at this point that they're going to just swoop in with Aaron and save the day when Rick falls for the trap, and they're going to be a wild card that's going to turn the tides, just like how the Kingdom turned the tides for them in the season finale last year. And then we also have Jadis, who's a wild card. We don't know what she's going to do, and she is in the episode because they showed in the sneak preview, they showed her opening a container at the junkyard. I don't know, maybe she uses some helicopter support and tries to help Rick. Maybe she leaves on the helicopter and goes to a community we don't know about, or maybe she tries to seek Rick's affection and joining the community, and maybe Rick will be more willing to if he spares Negan and embraces Carl's mentality like what Carl did for Sadiq. Maybe he'll do the same for Jadis. Who knows? Honestly, I'm interested to see where they take her, because Jadis was very broken up about everything. The episode 14. There wasn't much out of the fact that she captured Negan. We just got some scenes with Negan admitting things about his wife and Lucille. We got more of a human side of Negan, and then Jadis just let him go. The only thing it really did was let Simon take over the Saviors for an episode when he attacked the hilltop and infected people and then ran away. So other than that, there wasn't really much that came, because, it was a big deal. When we saw that Negan was captured by Jadis, I was like, oh my god, this is a big wild card. How is this going to tie in? And, Negan got free and ended up being in charge again. So, I mean, it makes sense, because obviously you want the final battle to be Rick versus Negan and not, Rick versus Simon. Even though Rick met Simon before Negan, but that's still beside the point. So yeah, Simon's out of the picture. Dwight's pretty much out of the picture. Now that he's in the jumpsuit, he's in Daryl's jumpsuit, hands tied, and pretty much just being forced. It looks like he's out in the field by the previews. He's being forced to watch what's going to happen as a result of his actions. And I mean, poor guy. I mean, he betrays Daryl for his wife, thinking he's doing everything for her, and then his wife ends up being used as a sex slave for Negan. Then he finally has enough, betrays the Saviors, and helps Rick out immensely, and now he's seemingly going to get them killed because of a mistake that he made. So I don't know, you got to feel bad for the guy. I hope that Sherry comes back at some point. I don't think it's going to happen. I was hoping that she would come back at some point in Season 8. It doesn't look like Sherry's going to come back at all. Same thing with Heath. We were told that Heath might come back this season. Doesn't look like it, so maybe he'll be involved with the Whisperer conflict in season 9. Maybe he caught up with another group or some crap. I don't know. He took that RV, drove away. We don't know what the heck happened to him. And he has been gone since season 7, episode 6. So most of season 7 and all of episode 8, if he doesn't show up in the finale, which I don't really see why he would, considering this finale is only an hour and 10 minutes, and they have to get through this whole battle sequence and then the aftermath. Like, this episode should tie up all-out war as long as there's no cliffhanger. The even episodes seem to have a tradition of leaving giant cliffhangers, and this has been true for every single even-numbered season. Season 2, you had the... Well, that wasn't really a cliffhanger, but you had the ominous shot of the prison, which was kind of a cliffhanger as to, tune in next season, because this is where it's going to be. The season 4 finale, Rick and the group were trapped in the Terminus boxcar, and that was a big cliffhanger because they're all trapped and literally by cannibals, and you don't know what's going to happen. You don't know what happens with Carol and Tyrese. Big question marks. And then obviously the biggest cliffhanger of them all for the season 6 finale was the cliffhanger death with who Negan smashed over the head. So the even number episodes really don't give resolution. The odd ones do. The finality of the moment, it seems. And maybe for season 3 you can say that, the governor, you don't really know what happened to him. That was a little bit of a letdown. But the conflict was concluded. All the Woodbury citizens joined with Rick. It seemed like the governor was done. He had no men, no support, so you could assume that by the end of season 3. End of season 5, that was Rick really assimilating his philosophy into Alexandria, and then he meets up with Morgan. End of season 7 was the coming together of all the communities to finally declare war against the Saviors, and it was a great kind of bonding moment with all of them coming together in Alexandria, saving Rick and stuff. So I don't know how this one's going to end. I imagine, the most logical thing for me is that Rick wins. They win. They don't kill all the Saviors. They obviously make a new pact with them, and Negan's captured. And in my mind, Dwight takes over as the leader of the Saviors because Simon's dead, and there's no way he would have gone along with a peace plan if he were alive, and it seems like obviously Dwight would because he's allies with them. So, yeah, Dwight would take over and Negan would be a captive, if this is what we're going to believe. Now, a lot of people want to see Negan dead, and I think people who don't know the comic outcome are going to be very frustrated by Rick's decision. And again, with all of the letters that Carl has been writing Rick, and this has been building up to this point. Rick is going to embrace Carl's words for peace and say, you know what, even though I've been telling Negan I wanted to kill him for freaking 2 seasons now... What was it? No, yeah. Well, yeah. Season 7, Season 8. Yeah, so 2 seasons worth of saying this. Yeah, he's not going to do it. That's probably... I'm going to make that 100% bet he's not going to do it. I would be shocked if Negan were killed in this finale because it ties to Rick's humanity. And the name of this episode is part of that Muslim saying that Siddiq said. The first episode of this season was Mercy. That the line, my mercy prevails over my wrath. Well, mercy was the title of episode 1. Title of episode 16, the finale, is wrath. So it's the last part of that sentence. So it ties into that whole philosophy, and it could also be the wrath of Negan trying to finally finish off Rick, and looks like it's going to be a good battle. Again, I'm fully expecting the Oceanside to come in and just save the day. I mean, even though again we don't know much. We had one episode that was totally dedicated to them, but we don't know what Cindy's mindset is. She just seems to be wishy-washy. It seems like she wants to fight, but we don't have enough screen time with her to really know. What really happened with them last episode? Aaron is, like I joked about in my reaction video, is trying to impersonate Tom Hanks from Castaway, flailing about, using giant boards for water, and just starving himself to death, trying to, become a beggar and convince the Oceanside that's because he's starving and helpless that they need help. That's almost what happened. They came over to him when he was on the ground dying, and then Aaron is like, you gotta fight, you know, that's the only thing, and the Saviors are gonna keep, like, I mean, he was right. Like, the Saviors are hurting them by making them isolate themselves. And so it looked like they didn't say anything. Like, the camera just cut away. So they're not giving you finality on that decision, and they're obviously going to resolve it in the finale, and they're going to come in and help out. Which, the thing is, I don't know how they're going to help, because they don't have guns. Those guns were taken last season. They only have those, you know, giant trident spears. So unless they're getting, you know, hand-to-hand combat, which in that giant open field that we saw in the preview, I don't know how that's going to work. So it depends. I mean, again, it's pretty obvious they're going to show up and kind of save the day. But again, Jadis, that's another thing. I don't know. I mean, those two groups, the Oceanside and the Junkyard, have always been like the two wild cards, because you have Rick, Hilltop, and Kingdom, which is the clear, you know, the trifecta of the group that's against the Saviors. But then you got these two outliers, one who is connected to the Saviors but doesn't want to be involved at all, and then the other one who just takes and plunders, and now they don't even exist. It's just Jadis just living the semblance of a life that's kind of in an orbit of her own. So who knows? I don't know. It's going to be an interesting finale. The first 4 minutes, a preview came out where Rick is talking to Sadiq. He asks what specifically happened with Carl, how it specifically happened, which is good because Rick finally gets a little bit of closure on that, how that happened. The other preview is Negan talking about, he's actually talking to Gabriel, the trap that Rick is going to walk into, and then you see Morgan killing some Saviors, and then Morgan sees the dead ghost of Jared, much like he was seeing Gavin's dead ghost a few episodes back. That's another thing that this episode has to accomplish. Morgan is going to leave in this episode somehow, some way, and then he's going to cross over to Fear the Walking Dead. Now, I don't know how it's going to happen. Maybe Rick says, if you don't agree with my decision to keep Negan alive, you can get the hell out, and maybe he leaves. Or, in my opinion, I think Morgan's going to be, like, mentally disturbed, and he can't handle it. I mean, we saw him cracking in episode 14. Like, he didn't even know if Henry was real. I mean, he was going nuts. So, I feel like Morgan's going to lose his shit and just run away, and then that's when he meets up with the Fear the Walking Dead crew, and the same night the premiere for Fear the Walking Dead then starts. So yeah, it's gonna be momentous, big finale, lots of fireworks, saw some explosions, and this is it. I mean, the thing is, people complain about the war being dragged out and such, but I guarantee, I mean, you guys are going to miss it. You know, going into season 9. I mean, this is another thing to consider, is that this is the last episode airing that is under the wing of Scott Gimple. This is the last episode that he is showrunner for, and Angela Kang takes over in season 9, and the show might have a different feel, especially if it's going to be years later. You know, it's probably going to be years later, considering in the comics there's a significant time jump after the events of the war with Negan. So, and Scott Gimple has said that by the end of season 8, the war is wrapped up. So again, I'm expecting finality. I just hope it's dragged out. I'm hoping it's not dragged out. And no cliffhangers. No cliffhangers. If Negan is captured, the Saviors bend the knee to this new pact of being allies instead of plunderers, then I'm cool with that. And then some resolution for Jadis. Maybe Oceanside finally comes back into the mix and becomes part of the trading network under Cindy's direction now. Jadis, maybe she joins with Rick or something. I don't know. Gets on her helicopter and goes somewhere that Rick's going to find in the next season. Morgan leaves for Fear, and then that's not a cliffhanger because we know he's going to be in Fear the Walking Dead now. So yeah, that would be the best way to have finality. And then Dwight takes over the Saviors. And that would be the best way to do it, really. Still, I wish we knew what happened to Sherry. I hope she doesn't randomly come out of the woodwork. I mean, how would she survive on her own? Unless she met up with another group, I don't know how she would be surviving on her own. Just kind of a giant question mark as to what happened to her. don't know, man. So so yeah, this is cool. I'm looking forward to the finale. I am. It's gonna be, some of these episodes. When I think about the show kind of comes and goes, but I try to still keep the spark for it, for you guys and whatnot, and I just hope it's momentous and eventful. And it's going to be the last of its kind, because the next time there's battle on this scale, it won't be probably until the mid-season of Season 9 or the finale of Season 9, most likely, because that's when you're talking the Whisperers. So I don't know when they plan on introducing the Whisperers. I'm not sure if they'll drag out the first part of Season 9 to say, hey, look, life is so amazing, everyone's getting along, and it's a paradise Eden on Earth, and I don't know, who knows? Again, Angela Kang might have a different direction she wants to take it. Don't know. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. So those are some of my predictions for the finale. I'm not expecting anything like too out of left field. Will certain characters die? Possibly Tara, but I'm not sure if they would do that because she needs some sort of finality with Dwight. At least I think so. I don't know. Who could they kill? I don't know. Maybe some red shirts. I'm not sure, but yeah, I don't know if I really have like a death prediction, because you already had Carl was the big death of this season, so I don't know if you would kill off another, and then Simon. So who has died this season? All of the junk people, Simon, Carl, all of Jadis's people, Jared, the asshole savior, Gavin, I guess, Major Lieutenant taken out of play. Yeah, and then Eugene, I'm going to say this for Eugene. If he does not sabotage the bullets that Negan needs to help them win this fight, then there's no redeeming that guy. Like, I don't know how Rick wouldn't want to just blow his head off, because this is like the most direct thing he can do to aid and wipe out his former friends. If he were to... That's the only way he could be like accepted by Rick again, by making the bullets a dud and then, doing something. That's the only way. That's the only way it could possibly work. He helped, and Rosita said it in last episode, he helped them escape to get out of the sanctuary and pin them down and make them evacuate Alexandria. So that was all on him. That was all on him, and he has been full-blown savior, and it is not the direction that they take him in the comics at all. Like, he is stone cold against Negan even when he's captured. And I just can't believe that they're making him a full-blown savior. And if the saviors are to be defeated next episode, what's he going to do? Where is his allegiance going to lie? So, I don't know. Can't say. So, yeah, I'm looking forward to it. If you guys are seeing it in theaters, let me know how that experience is. Obviously, I can't really do that because I'm trying to do a reaction video. Can't really bring my camera and recording software into a freaking movie theater. I think you know where the problems lie with that. So I'm just going to be doing it the same old method that I usually watch it. And, yeah, nothing too fancy. So I'll have the trifecta, my three, me, Pete, and Jack, the usual three people that have watched all the episodes this season. And, yeah, it should be a good time. So, yeah, thank you guys, and on to the finale. Peace.